As a Smily user, let's see how to create 100% customizable check-in forms for your vacation rental business using only free tools. So let's see this. First, we're going to use Tally for our check-in forms. And then we're going to use Zapier to connect Tally and Smily. So let's go through and see how that works so you can have this free automation done to your exact needs. So the first thing you want as soon as you have signed up to Tally is just to create a new forms. And so here we just write, let's say check-in form demo. That can work. And here we just have to, let's say, start from scratch. So the first thing we might be interested to do is to ask the email of the guest. And yes, the email is a very key thing that we definitely want to make sure we capture, because that's what enables us to retarget guests in the future. And the email we get from Airbnb and Booking.com and other channels are usually temporary. We don't have the real email. So we kind of want to find a way to get this real email. And on top of the email, well, we know we also want to collect the phone number. So let's collect the phone as well. And for the phone, we might actually want to make sure that it has the international format, potentially a default country code. If you have 80-90% of your guests coming from a single country, well, you might want to do that. Otherwise, leave it by default. Let people to pick what is the relevant answer. Now, let's go to actually the rest of the important aspect. As you see, you can add so many things. Personally, what I like to do for our business is to ask also the expected arrival time. So we can actually just write here date or time. Actually, I think that's how they call it, time. And we can put arrival time. Up. Yes, we'll make this required. No, actually, let's leave it as optional. And we also want to certainly ask the departure time. If they already know what time the guests are going to depart, that would be lovely to know. As soon as we have the arrival time, departure time, that can really help us to anticipate. Well, first, check-in, check-outs. Personally, we like to do them in person, but also for cleaning management. So if you know you have like a guest that is leaving very early, the next one arrive very late, well, you know that property is not the highest priority. This one might be able to be moved, let's say, a bit around compared to the other ones. And so that enable you to better plan your cleaning management. So this is a couple of things. Personally, one of the things that we tend to like as well for our own family business is potentially to ask, how do they come? So for example, in Villa Thalassa in Greece, it's on an island connected with a small bridge, but ultimately knowing how they arrive, that can be very important. So we can have a select. I would like actually a single select, so that's drop down. And you can say, how do you arrive? And here you could just say, okay, they arrive by plane, by boat, by car. That's basically the main one. And we can say other, could be bus, whatever that is. And now a funny part is that you could just have a logic that basically says, let's see this, let's see after this one's up, we're going to add one more, and that says flight number. So, so that's just a short answer. Yeah, I'd like to keep this consistent. Flight number. So other is a bold. Let's make that 2 bold. So how do you arrive? We can leave this as maybe optional. As you see, you can really go down with quite a few details. Up to you to define what's required, what's not. But here the flight number is not something that we want to show every time. And so let's see how we can have this hidden by default, but also add conditional logic. So you could say when how to arrive is flight, basically you want to show the block flight number. That's really that simple. And so, which means that if people are putting flights, you're going to ask the flight number. If not, leave it free. Let's leave it here for now, but you could really go as far as you want. You can build so many things. And all of this is also for free when you use Tally, which is quite amazing. But there's one more thing that we actually need, which is a hidden field. So to be able to track our booking ID. And so the booking ID is something that we're going to embed in the form when the form is requested or sent to the guest. So we're able to understand that the submission of that form is tied to that reservation, to that booking. And so we can send this information to that booking as well. So here we got the booking ID. We're able to connect both the email, the phone, arrival time, how do they arrive, and departure time. Let's put departure time also as optional. That's fine. The only really thing that we want is email and phone number. The rest is best to have, but not a must. Let's do that for now. We could add upsell, so many things, but let's keep it simple for now. So we can just publish this form, and this is our URL. Now let's see how we're going to connect this with Zapier, and then actually we might have to give it a try right away. So we have a detail. So now I'm just going to open that form. We see here it is. And because we have this booking ID, that will take exactly the name that we gave it. So you remember inside the edit, we named this hidden field booking_ID. So I quite like that format, but feel free to do whatever you want. And here we'll try this booking_ID equal, and we try with one of our bookings. So here we are viewing that particular booking and its ID. Okay, if we were to edit it, the ID is not the most obvious. I mean, you will never have to do this manually except for this initial test. Otherwise, this form will be sent automatically with the notification center. And so the notification center, you could just add the link to Tally with this booking ID that is dynamic. We can see a bit later how to do that. But ultimately for this purpose, now let's just copy this ID and add it to our submission here. So we just try to submit it now because we see that within Zapier, we'll need to be able to pull a submission that already exists. So we are able to actually reuse it and test the whole process. So here I'll make a sample email. So personally, I like to go with this example.com. It goes nowhere. So at least we don't pollute anything. And then here, just make some random stuff. I hope nobody has that number. That would be a bit annoying for them to get these messages, but we're not sending anything anyway. So hours and minutes, great. We have that selector. Let's say we expect to arrive at, 16:30, whatever that is. So 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., sorry. How do we arrive? Let's say that's by other, by the way, we realized, that would be great to actually have something else here. So here, let's do that again, similar to what we had here. For other, we could have also this short answer and say, tell us more. Well. All right, okay. And so by default, we want to hide it. And again, we will do another conditional logic. So we can do this, let's say on top of that. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Actually, the best is to start directly from here. So it's already linked. So when you arrive is other, we want to show the block. Tell us a bit more how you will arrive. Okay, publish that. So let's redo it. So now it asks us for this detail. Again, small mistake here. We don't want this to be required. But at least you see the process. It's very straightforward. Even if we reload the form, I love this, how Tally is done. It keeps the previous information, so guests don't have to be doing anything. Here, let's say we arrive by bus, departure time, we don't know. We just submit this. That's it. So that's what your guests would see. Very straightforward. If you have the free version, they would see this message to create their own forms. Maybe that's not bad. At least you give them a tip if they really need to build the forms to do it. If you don't want this, you want more personalization, you can always buy Tally and get even more custom, but that already works well like this. Now let's see how to connect these form submissions with Smily. So we go into Zapier and create a new Zap. And within Zapier, we have something that is also for free as long as we use just a trigger and an action. And a limited number of them. So as the trigger, we'll use Tally. So this is our forms. So we could use Copilot and the AI to do that. I would just show you step by step, let's say the more difficult way, but you could do this with AI right away as well. So here the submission is I connected with my account. I already connected the account. So that's what we're going to do. We just observe Tally app. Whenever there is a new submission linked to this account, so this Tally account, we're going to continue and choose which forms. As we see, I have a couple of others here on this demo account, but we're going to connect to the ones that we created. So whenever there is a submission to this one, let's see what happened. So here, that's why I wanted to do a submission first, so these ones arrive here. And we can see all our information are within. As we see this arrival time, how is it going to be, with bus, and so on and so forth. Now, we're going to put this with Smily. So let's just search for Smily. And this is what we're going to do for Smily. We want to update a booking. So we're going to select it. And let's find out actually more account. The account that I have here is Smily demo, check-in demo. Let's see, I might have to connect one more account actually. So we connect more accounts. So it asks me to allow Smily to access my current demo account. So this one, Smily check-in demo. Yes, I do want to allow this. Yeah, okay. So it connected to this particular account. Excellent. Now we want to select which booking we want to update. And so that's where this booking ID that we had initially here is very important because that's what's going to be used to connect both together. And so for that, we're going to use not a static value, but we're going to use custom value. And that custom value is going to be taken directly from Tally. Custom. In Tally, we do have our booking ID. And you could say, yes, but potentially a badly intentioned person could try to hijack this ID and guess another one. Remember that this ID is unique across the entire Smily platforms and anyway is scoped to your account. So that would be actually pretty hard to guess a real working ID for this. Not that it's impossible, but it gets very difficult. So ultimately the risk is very, very low. Now, if you're looking for something that is 100% safe and you never have any risk, there is other solutions to do custom forms as well. So feel free to check our App Center for that. There's many of options. But ultimately, that's a very simple way that never caused any problem in the past. So that's fine. Now, checking time, expected checking time, expected checkout time. That's something that is very common. So easy on the platforms. We really want to grab that. And so as we saw, we did ask this information with what we call arrival time, checkout time, that's this one, departure. And you see that we have notes and booking comments. Personally, I do prefer to create booking comments because if you had already notes and you forget to re-include these notes, you might actually remove them. So that's a bit dangerous. So I'd rather create a new comment with all of the different informations. And so what we could do is just have a raw output of everything that was submitted on Tally. So that's one way, and therefore everything is there. So let's have a look, just do this. So we could just call check-in form and just put all of this information. You will see how that looks. Now, if you have any particular payback to owner you want to add, well, that's for other aspects. But also here it's a very interesting. The email, here you can directly get the email of the guest and place it right away on the guest itself. So we made it so that you can update the guest and the booking at once, so it keeps it very straightforward. So I'd like to call this actually the primary email because I know this is a valid best email. And so, or direct, actually, whatever that is, direct email and direct phone. But you could name it really as you want. And here's a phone number as well with the proper international details, so that make it very easy to use. Let's save this and let's test it. But before we press test, I want you to see how on this booking, let's go back a step to show that booking. So here we don't have much information. We have this wonky phone number here. We don't really have an email. Let's check the guest details. So inside the guests, we don't have that much really. So we have that phone number that is, okay, as we saw, not ideal. We don't have any email. Let's see how that's going to update all of these steps. So if we test it, and keep in mind when you press test, it's going to really update this particular booking. So you want to make sure that you test on a fake booking initially. And so you can remove that and a fake guest so you don't damage existing valuable data. And then the automation will just do its work. But when you do this testing, it's important actually to make sure everything works. Don't just skip the test it, but make sure to test with a fake booking, fake guest. Now that has been done. And so let's see how that impacted everything. Let's review our owner. So we can see that our, guest. So we can see that our guests have a new email that has been added with direct and example. It has also a new phone that has been added as direct label and the phone itself. This is amazing. Let's see the impact on the booking actually itself. So if we go in the calendar, the booking, we can see that our expected time also has been updated. Everything is updated as we see also here. So that's exactly what we want. The only thing left you have to do is publish, and that's going to work. Every time there is a submission to this form, it's going to automatically update the particular booking. So now the only question that we have left really is, how do we connect this tally and send it to all our customers? And so the way to do that is using the notification center. So we're going to go in the apps. Oops, let's move this around. And notifications. Inside the notifications, there is this before arrival. So smooth check-in, for example. We have this by default 1 week before. Let's edit that one. And within this, you're going to see that we share helpful information with checking details. So this is a little bit more like code. So if you're not comfortable with this at all, feel free to ask your account manager. They will be able to set this up. So don't worry, this is extremely powerful. But if you're not comfortable with it, we can help you with that. And so when you are here, basically, we can see it recaps a few information, your upcoming Let me just see. This is details about the property. This is the check-in details. So if checking details, yes. So if there is an expected booking time, custom sender, all right. And now the thing that we might want to do is just actually add one more like this, which basically actually we don't need even the if here. But here we'll just send a link, basically check-in now. And so that check-in now is going to ask guests to do their check-in. And as we see, we just need to add a link. So that's how links works in HTML. And we have this booking ID that we saw. And here we're going to add our booking ID. We're going to see this. And technically, we can just do that up now. That's it. Actually, we don't even need this. And there is a way we can do buttons. Let's do this. I don't remember myself off my head right now, but we're gonna find this out. So let's open the template guides actually to find out what is our booking ID. So this is all the variables you have. And we see within our booking, we have a couple of things here. So a booking.id, that should be very straightforward. Pretty sure that's booking.id, but you can see we can get back so much information of that particular booking. So booking ID, so if we just do this, when we click on check-in now, it's gonna open directly this link of Tally and this. Let's have a look. But before we do that, let's just copy this because this is great. It's in English. Let's just not forget to also set this in French. If you have multiple languages, that's important to get these updates in both languages. So that's important. Again, that's where it can be really good to work with your account managers so they can help you with this whole process. So check-in now, potentially you might even want to have a different check-in forms. One that is in French was in English, so you just have to change that link. So like that, you have a French one, an English one, whatever language you work with, make it very straightforward. And potentially there is also this plain text version. So we see that's quite details if you want to be so advanced here. So that would be the best. But again, our account managers can help you with this. So the full details would be to do this everywhere. So let's go back to this HTML version, copy the link and title, and update it to this. Check it now, up. All right, that's about it. So now we can update our notification. So if we do preview our notification, we can see that it just added a link, check in now. And this, if you have a scheduled time, it will show it. If it's not going to show it, but ultimately you just ask for the check-in here. And if they were to do the plain text, you will see this link is here. Actually, we could add a little bit spacing here. So let's see, that's a good way to preview it. Here, we might want to add a few more up spaces. Same here. All right. Actually, that did not. Let me see, maybe I missed something. Let's look at how it's done for the other ones. Okay, this is actually removing the end space. We want to keep it in this case. So let's just clean this up. All right, now we went way into the details, but at least you understand how that works. I'm just going to be picky here, clean up all of that properly. Oh, no, we're going to leave one. And in French as well. One is enough. All right, checking now, plain text, clear link as well. Same here. Excellent. That's it. Now you just have to activate that notification if it was not already. And every guest 1 week before arrival will get this smooth check-in process, but also be asked to fill in these forms. And so now you have a very easy and automated way to have 100% customized check-in forms that is tailored to your needs, but also free. And so if you like that, just put a like and subscribe for more tips, and I look forward to share more. Bye.